Here we are going to add these two algebraic fractions, but unfortunately, as we can see, they do not have the same denominators yet. Remember, whenever we're trying to add or subtract fractions, the denominators has to be the same, right? So, to figure out the same denominator, this is what we do. We look at the denominator of this, which is 2x squared minus 9x minus 5. We need to factor this out first. And let me show you how to factor this on the side. 2x squared minus 9x minus 5. And I will use the tic-tac-toe method to factor this out because this has the three terms, right? So we ask ourselves, what times what will give us 2x squared? And that will be 2x and x. And how about what times what will give us negative 5? Well, we know 1 times negative 5 or negative 1 times 5, right? And maybe you have to move the number around, but let me tell you the correct combination. In this case, we are going to put down the 1 right here and negative 5 right here. And we know this is correct after we check it, because when we do 2x times negative 5, we get negative 10x, and if we multiply 1 with x, that's positive x. Negative 10x combined with x, that's exactly negative 9x, and this is exactly what we need in the middle. So we know this is the correct combination that we need. And that means when we factor this out, we read the answer from across. 2x plus 1 times x minus 5. Okay? So to figure out the same denominator, we first factor out whichever we can factor out. This could be factored as 2x plus 1 times x minus 5. And the denominator for the second one is just x minus 5, so there's nothing else that we can do. Right, so the x minus 5 on the second denominator is just by itself, right? Nothing we can do with that. And as we can see, on the first one, we have 2x plus 1. So that's exactly what we need for the second fraction. Let me multiply the top and bottom by 2x plus 1. And this way you see the denominator will be the same as just 2x plus 1 times x minus 5, right? Same thing now. So the result is going to be this. I'm going to put down the denominator, 2x plus 1 times x minus 5, okay? And then for the first fraction, on the top, it's just x minus 16. Let me put it down, x minus 16. And then for this, what we have to do is we have to take the positive 1 and technically distribute it inside into the parentheses. But then, of course, 1 times anything doesn't change. But this is what we have to do. Positive whatever this number is, and then distribute it into the parentheses. And in fact, we end up with what? Just this, 2x, and that's a positive 2x plus 1, okay? And then we are going to combine like terms on the top. Let me just put on the result right above this. So we see that we have x plus 2x. That will give us 3x. And then negative 16 plus 1, that's minus 15. So you see, we pretty much put the fractions together and then combine like terms on the top together. At the end, we look at the numerator, which is 3x minus 15, and ask ourselves, can we factor anything out? Yes, we can. We can factor out the 3 right here. So we have 3, and then you see that originally was 3x. If we factor out the 3, we have x. Originally we have negative 15, but we factor out the 3, so we have negative 5. Well, all this is because we can now cancel out the common factor on the top, the x minus 5, and also on the bottom, the x minus 5. So finally, the answer will be 3 over 2x plus 1. And this is it.